wote watakuwa exposed. That is why always they are trying to cover themselves. Kalonzo, even as we are talking, alikuwa katika NATCO. He was the chairman of NATCO. Wao ndio alikuja na hii mpango ya Union of National Unity. Wao ndio alikuja na hizi stories zote, including ya kutuma Raila kwenda kukua chairman AU. Alafu baadaye anakuja anajifanya amedijidista, wakati tuliona yeye mwenyewe akipeleka report kwa ICC akienda ku handover. We are not fools. They might have been succeeding in fooling people, but this time round, tunawaambia no. You need to come with different script. You need to sell us different product, because this product that you are selling to us now, they are too cheap for us to buy even for free. So we are standing firm. Kwa hivyo tutaki kujua kama ni Raila kama ni nani, wote that's why tunasema wanaanguka nayo. Yes, yeah, 1 minute left.
Just allow me to then we'll give Western a chance to withdraw that statement of coming here. I'm saying you cannot come here to impute negative sectarian decisions, or rather people cannot talk for their region. And that is what they said about Gachagua. But why was Ruto himself talking about Meru? That is even a smaller region. What I'm trying to say here is we cannot, as Fabricio has explained. This is the first time I'm getting emotional when I hear somebody here coming to kind of defend Raila. Raila ako ndani of all the ills of Kenya. Don't come here with that attitude, because we know all these politicians, all of them, without exception, Kalonzo, everybody, they belong to the dustbin. So, but we know that the back rests at the presidency. But our new constitution 2010 has defined the presidency. It is not responsibility only on one person. Otherwise, they would not be impeaching Gachagua. In other words, let's be truthful. Don't because of your sectarian interest, you think you can push them here and you're telling people not to use their sectarian. No. In Kikuyu, we say, Wamwega Oshiro Tawamuru. The case for the bad person should be also decided like the good person. There's no good person ahead of the law. Everybody is a potential murderer. You cannot say, oh, that one can never kill. It depends on circumstances. So let's avoid that kind of talk here. We want solutions. Don't come here telling us, oh, yeah, this part. No, we want solutions going forward. We don't have time to discuss. We know, all of us, the ills. By the time we have reached here in this movement, we know the ills of the regime. It began all the way with Kenyatta 1. All of them, without exception, they have ruined Kenya. Otherwise, we will be like Singapore or Malaysia. Thank you. Publish.
Thank you. Lyson?
I think...
Fabish,
no, let me say this. Let me just say one thing.
Yeah, just hold your thought, Western, then I will come back to you. Just hold that your thought. Yes,
I want us to desist from one thing. Mine is to say to Xavier, and also, I think from where I caught up Western talking about, you're saying let's not get to the trap of imagining that Raila does not have followers. And I think that's quite in order. But at the question of, let us not also play the tribal card as to whether Raila or what. Let's not get to the politics, because the politics will only divide us. Let's focus on our movement. These are political cousins. Kalonzo has never worked anything else from 1980s when Moi took him from university. He became a minister, an MP, a minister, vice president, I think severally, and now leader of opposition, a running mate. These are political cousins. Raila too. Raila from high school, which we have issues for, to university, to detention, of which he played a big role in that revolt of second liberation. But after that, he has just been shuffling political parties, screwing parties and screwing, making, breaking. And I suspect the same script is going to happen to that of William Ruto. He's going to go inside. He has broken it from within. Now he's the biggest stakeholder. He can implement NADCO, whereas we wanted NADCO to be, because they were selfish about NADCO in Kalonzo. They pushed for NADCO, but now Raila went outwitted them. He went further, earlier, in the room. And now they're bringing the report of which him himself will be controlling its implementation with the traitor. So, gentlemen, long and short of it, we can go round and round in discussing these personalities, but I just want to pick those two. Same to Uhuru and same to Ruto. Those guys have never worked anywhere. Even if you go further to Sakaja, he has not run any kiosk in Nairobi. This is my people who are picked from school. They come here, nominated MP, senator, governor. Next time you hear young tax, they need to be this. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to just take it a bit easy. Xavier, and I think also another. I think I followed him. He was trying to give the flow of events, and I think it was quite in order. Maybe the issue is now at this point in time, let's avoid too much of history, as much as we can have that for ourselves in different forums. For now, we have 10 days, 9 days to go to 11/11. Let's focus on what are you going to do to make 11/11 successful. As to whether we want to remove Ruto, as to whether we are happy with this regime, as to whether we don't like Kalonzo or Raila, I think we are all agreed. We have crossed that bridge. As to questions of snitches, all that things, we have already crossed that bridge. We have maturity now at our movement. We're asking to make 11/11 be a starting point or a game changer. What is individual speaker who's going to speak here do for that day to be successful? For me, I'll speak for myself. I am mobilized to cause major commotions in at least 2 major highways that are entering Nairobi, to make it a dead end so that all those who are going to work can bear a price and know that there's a movement and there's 11/11. What are you coming to do? Can you mobilize your local people to go to the chief's office, to a Safaricom shop, to a US embassy, to wherever with placards? What are you going to do individually now as you speak to make 11/11 a success? Thank you.
Thank you so much. And just only to chime something as you are closing on that remarks. We are, when we are saying that Raila have supporters, we all know, Ruto that we are fighting. Also, you have supporters, but we don't care. So not only Raila that have supporters, even Ruto is a president. Of course, he have supporters. He's even boasting that he was voted by more than 7 million people, but we don't care. And that is why this is a movement. This is not a political party. That's why we come with a movement. We don't come to political party to contest with them politically. So those their supporters, who are their supporters? It is still we that now we have revolted against them. So let's not, go in that line of thoughts. If you go in that line of thought that this person have supporters and this, then that means we will never do anything, because even the president have supporters. Even the guy that was impeached the other day was saying that he have supporters, 7-point-something million. So their supporters, they are Kenyans, and Kenyans they feel they are oppressed, and they have revolted. Kwa hivyo, what we need is now, let's go away from theories. For movement doesn't need theories. Let's not go to class. Now we need to go to field work. That is how we are going to realize this movement. But if we continue staying in classes, studying about history, studying about, the theatrics of this politician, going about their psychological thinking, it will took. Let us just go like Lyson. You are saying you are starting to mobilize how you are going, that strategy that you have put. This is now what we want, let's discuss each individually. Do something. Even if you are in abroad, do something. Even I think before 11/11, we will be holding a space for Kenyans who are in abroad. We want to see at least in one country, between Germany, UK, America, we need at least one country. Those people in Holland, we need to read them. Can they go
mention
to
Canada too?
Yes, as Canada, that is one of the strongest. Can they go in Toronto? Can they carry the flags and placards?
We are going to Ottawa.
Ottawa.
I'm already organizing.
Oh, that is great. Okay, that is great. Yes, we want to see someone who is in Germany. Can you do something? Someone who is in France. Those who are in the Holland, can they go with the placards to The Hague? You know, those who are in America, can they go? So this is the strategies that we are talking about, because what important is that we need in that 11 activities to be everywhere. Thank you. I see Jides and then my co-host Bernard, then you go to Makuraya.
Thank you, Fabish. I just want to be brief and I say the following, just like I said from the beginning, any conversation must be synonymous with, contention and consension for it to have an admirable and formidable conclusion. But the most important thing for us is to remain stable, stable mentally and emotionally. Otherwise, we shall systematically disqualify ourselves from being part of a formidable conclusion as far as the revolution is concerned. I just want to jump into one thing when it comes to Safaricom boycott. I want to say the following. It is absurd and highly consternating that a corporation in this economy could be making so much colossal profits in an economy that is ailing, just like Safaricom does. That cannot happen unless you're cheating people, unless you're stealing from people, and this is what Safaricom does. Now, my opinion, as far as boycotting the company is concerned, number one, we are all subscribers of M-Pesa. We get loans from them that we pay after 30 or so much days. Some of us have qualified to big loans as high as 100,000 shillings, 50,000 shillings, 20,000 shillings. It is the highest time we take those loans to the maximum, then we boycott paying, we swap the providers from Safaricom to Airtel, okay, and we fail to pay those loans. When we form another government, one of the requirements we shall require from the government, the presidency and the government will be formed, it is to forgive loans from everybody who boycotted paying from Safaricom. That's the best way to do it. Among other things, thank you guys. I might not have a chance to talk anymore, but I will continue listening to you. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you. I want to agree 100% that yes, if it is possible from that their SIM card take loan, take 100,000. Yes, when we form a new government, like company like Safaricom first, we are going to close it down, and we are going to hold it responsible for manipulating Kenyans for a long time. You know, there are a lot of manipulation, and after all, even our shares, they have our shares.
Fabish, you can bring something the US brought on one of the telecommunication company, and also I think Boeing and another organization. I think it was Microsoft. Those companies were deemed too big to fail. But the US brought a law that you cannot grow so big that you can even threaten the government. So we should bring, it's called antitrust laws. The new parliament will bring antitrust law. No organization can grow, and whether owned by government or by individuals, so big that it can manipulate the economy. That should never be allowed. So that method, the speaker was saying about not paying the loans is very good. People should also not pay the so-called hustler funds. Hiyo pesa yote serikali mpya itasamehea na itatoka kwa Ruto. Hiyo pesa tutatoa ile yote iko ng'ambo, ile pesa wameweka huko na kina Uhuru, yote tutarudisha Kenya.
Yes, fuliza and boycott. Yes. Wanaweza kutumia ambao wameiba na Ruto wakajilipa.
Yes. Get maximum.
Yes.
Fuliza kabisa.
So fuliza and boycott, yes. Yes, let's go to Bernard, my co-host.
Yeah, thank you, Fabish. And you guys are very amazing. Like, it's even difficult to co-host because you guys are very orderly. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing as a co-host anymore. And I don't even know how to put this here. Like, I agree with you guys on so many levels. First of all, let's go back to like the tribal thing. Yeah, like they're not tribes here when it comes to these people. I completely agree. Like even if you look back to the Moi time, like Mudavadi was one of his vice presidents. Let's not forget, Musalia Mudavadi alikuwa vice president of Daniel Toroitich arap Moi at one moment in time. Yeah, like these people are that old. These people have been there for that long. Yeah, and let's not forget. Let's not completely forget that after that our current president has been what do you call, like a guest of the Hague, yeah, after instigating and probably funding the death of a bunch of women and children in a church, yeah. And mpaka leo, like I actually went back, like when someone brought it up, like nilirudi, I went and I watched how BBC covered it, and yeah, like paka unaona like their shoes, yeah, that are lying around, and yeah, like walichoma watu, as in they burnt people, yeah. And this man has never said that he didn't do it, yeah. And that's one of the other things that we need to remember. Like we say, and the current
This is The Hague. Ruto was indicted and it was not dismissed. What Hague said was, because of failure of the Kenya government, that is Uhuru, to give evidence, then the case was put on hold. But the file just needs to be opened. It was not, the indiction is still on for Ruto.
Exactly. And if you remember correctly, and if you remember even more importantly, Kindiki was his lawyer. Yeah, like let's not forget that. Like the current vice president alikuwa lawyer wake, alimpeleka Hague na akasema huyu mtu ni mtu mzuri sana, amfai kumfunga. Yeah, like those are the people who are running the country right now. Like it's terrible. Like it's even worse than how it was when these people got elected. Yeah, like now it now even looks terrible. It's like msee na dog wake amemshika tu hivi, as in wanatembea tu around our country, like being able to do whatever they want. Yeah. And
okay, cause maliza, unajua tulikuwa tumemtoa kwa nani kwanza, kwa Western, hata alikuwa hajamaliza point yake, but tulikuwa tumesema acha kwanza to decompress, ndio turudi sasa tupatie solution.
Sawa, wacha tuende kwa Western.
Maybe
Western.
Fabish, as Western is coming, eh?
Fabish, thank you so much.
Okay. Go ahead, Western.
Somebody wants
Western
to speak?
No, just
sorry, Western, before...
Oh,
Western, before you say, I have a burning one, a very bad one that will anger you. I have just seen that there's a leader, a major senior opposition leader who was flown out of the country to go and seek medical support from abroad. Of course, it's not unique. All this political class, they have their houses and homes abroad. All of them. They have their insurance covers whenever they are sick. Homa wanaenda Dubai, India, Egypt, I mean, anywhere, Israel. I think there are rumors that Uhuru was in US. So it's like that. But here, our local health system is dead. If we watched the mess that is happening in our local hospitals everywhere, yet the government is not talking about it, it's horrible. So we pray that whoever that senior politician is may go back to his devils. I think that's what I was just trying to decompose you a bit, Pole, decompress you a bit. That whoever it is and whoever one of them goes out, let them go and return back to their devils. Thank you.
Let the pressure increase.
Thank you so much, Layson. Fabish, look.
Yes, Western.
Fabish.
Yes, Mwalimu.
I hope you're listening to me. The lifeblood of democracy or any movement or organization, the lifeblood is plurality of views. multiplicity of views. And it entails even giving an ear to things that you would not want to hear. Why do I say this? Because if you look at William Ruto, clearly he runs the show single-handedly. There are very few people who tell him things that he doesn't want to hear, if at all. And I will put it to you why you would find it difficult to remove a regime such as his, despite all these excesses and a whole host of things, corruption, what? I'll tell you why. One of the reasons why it becomes difficult to remove such a regime is when that regime exhibits traits that are fairly commonplace within the society. It's difficult because you are fighting against yourself. So if you are intolerant to dissent, you aren't any different from William Ruto. If you're intolerant to dissent, you aren't any different from Raila Odinga or other people who came before them. You are not. And therefore, it becomes extremely difficult to get rid of that regime because by fighting against them, psychologically, you're fighting against yourself. That's what it means. Which way I'm saying, for me to say that I don't agree that Raila Odinga is a spent force, it doesn't mean I support him. Where? It doesn't mean I support him. It's like saying there's a risk lurking down the road. Does it mean I don't like you? I'm just sounding the alarm. There's a risk lurking down the road. It doesn't mean I'm wishing you ill will. But that's the interpretation, if I may listen to some of the views here. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not endorsing Raila Odinga. I'm not sympathetic to Raila Odinga. I'm just saying from where I'm seated, he is not a spent force. He can't be wished away. And I think that's factually correct. It can't be wished away. And it doesn't mean I'm saying we are fighting a losing battle or what we're doing is self-defeating. What I'm saying is that there are hurdles, there are risks, there are challenges, which even if you choose not to see them, it doesn't mean they don't exist. They are there. So, Fabrice, that's the point I'm making. And about sectarianism, well, I'm not so sure how that could be misinterpreted. What I'm saying is that to reduce the challenges of the country to ethno-regional politics does not enhance transformation, because that is the kind of politics that has made us get stuck in these problems. That kind of politics, those divisions. So we can't deploy those divisions in our search for transformation and a better Kenya. It's counterintuitive. It's actually self-defeating. We actually then behave more like the people we are fighting against, the people we don't like. So subconsciously, we are more like the people we're fighting against, as opposed to defining a different genre of politics. That's what I'm saying. So, who was it? He was asking about the regime. Fabish. Well, the Kenyan state is not unique. We borrowed this state from elsewhere, the Westphalian states. And there are states that came before our state that have been around for hundreds of years. This state here, the Kenyan state, being not unique, being a borrowed entity, what I'm saying is that hardly do you find in any given state where a regime is characterized by two people, the president and the vice president. And why that's the case is that it is the president who assents to those bills that we're against. Even if he's not there, the deputy president cannot assent to those bills. It is the president who can commit your sentence. If there was capital punishment you're supposed to hang, he is the one who has got the power of clemency to forgive you and you go home. Or as you've seen, people are convicted of corruption and then suddenly they've been pardoned. Or some minor, he has those powers. He can't delegate those powers. So if those powers can only be discharged, exercised by one person, it doesn't matter whether there's something like the presidency. The deputy president can't exercise those powers until the president is incapacitated or is expired. then the person assumes power. So this notion that there's something called a co-president, it's not there. There's just a president. And we better take responsibility where it squarely belongs. And that doesn't mean the people who are part of this government do not carry part of the blame because of that principle of association. They do. As the speaker said, if you're not part of this government, you resign. Because you're part of it, you've not resigned. Well, it means you're complicit in what they're doing. You have no problem with what they're doing. But when it comes to, let's say, criminal liability, it is those people who make decisions. They're the ones who are held accountable. And those who implemented those atrocious decisions, they can be held individually culpable. So let's not conflate things here that, oh, William Ruto Rigathi government or William Ruto Kibiki government, Uhuru Kenyatta, William Ruto government. That's our creation, but it's an oddity. It doesn't exist anywhere. That's just our own creation for our own peculiar politics. And that's why sometimes we refuse when somebody comes with a view that does not cohere with that kind of reading. But it doesn't mean we are correct. It simply means it's a popular view as we read our politics, but it doesn't mean it's correct. But it doesn't mean that's universal, given that our state is not unique. Thank you, Fabish.
Silahau, Western, I agree.